How's it going? Oh, good.
Yeah, she's my neighbor.
How's it going?
I'm so excited to be here. I tried that one class that I was on.
Yeah.
Rochelle was like, how'd you do? I'm like, I had to turn off the thing because I was like, I kept going back and forth to her because she was crying.
Oh, she was crying?
Yeah,
Hi.
she was fussy.
Aw.
Yeah, but she's getting better. She's not fussy. So Tom has her.
Good. Aw.
Only I was under the impression that you guys were just gonna have drinks. So I'm gonna put my chicken and vegetables in the oven and everything's ready, so, yeah, awesome. I know, it was nice, good stuff, it really was. Yeah.
So just a quick, oh, hi, everybody has a couple of blocks. Just a quick reminder that tomorrow we start the, right, May, the May calendar.
Tomorrow's the 30th.
The 30th, so
The next
tomorrow.
Wednesday.
So now I'm confused. Okay, so,
Wednesday we start.
yeah, so tomorrow is the last yoga, intermediate yoga at 9:30 hour-long class. But then the yoga and meditation class on Wednesdays is done for season.
Oh, okay.
So then next week starts the May calendar. This class is the same. And then intermediate yoga is going to change to more of it's a 45-minute vinyasa flow. So it will, it will have intermediate qualities, but kind of putting it together now and sort of a wake up and I like just to get the body moving in the morning.
And that will be same time?
9:30, but for 45 minutes. So 9:30 to 10:15, and then yoga and meditation. That's, I think so.
What day is
Yeah,
it?
Tuesdays, 9:30 to 10:15. So yeah. Hello. Welcome. So how's everybody doing? I feel like even though I was here last Wednesday, I feel like I haven't been here. Everybody doing well? Welcome. New yogi. Debbie, nice to meet you, Nancy. Have you done yoga before? Okay, but a little knowledge. Okay, all right. I offer a lot of alignment cues, so just ears open and really monitor your breath. I always think when you first come back, the breath is the most important. So yeah, so even if you get lost or feel like, okay, I just need to take child's pose, don't feel pressured don't play Simon Says. So, if you feel like you need to take child's pose or stay in downward dog longer, just, yeah, and then the breath. Good.
Sorry to go back to this. I can't get it through my head. So through the summer, will we have a meditation class after?
No.
Right.
That starts November, the back-to-back.
Okay.
Yeah, the back-to-back on Tuesday.
On Tuesday morning.
Yeah, which will take the shape more of a vinyasa flow where, yeah,
But weren't you doing a Wednesday class at 1:30?
I was, and that's dropped.
Okay.
That's gone now.
That's gone.
So even when we come into season next year, in November, that's actually gonna follow the vinyasa flow on Tuesday. So it'll be a back-to-back 2 45-minute classes. So good to do back-to-back or one or the other. So, cause we'll move, get that blood going and then slow it. It's a slow flow. It's like a real gentle class for yoga meditation to really prepare the body for meditation. So that's the idea. All right, well, let's come together in this opening seat, crossing the legs. You can use blocks to support. Some people are already doing that where the block is under their seat, or if you're comfortable sitting on the mat, you can put the blocks underneath your knees to help find that support. So the idea is to really feel your spine grow tall. Lift your chest, really feel that opening here, that you're able to take a full breath. Take a full deep breath together. Moving into this new week, welcoming in a new month. We just finished the full moon cycles. The new moon is starting. So let's soften the gaze down, maybe look downward, close the eyes completely. And just time to come into this, some of the expression, your rectangle of Zen. An opportunity for this next hour to tune in, to explore, to self-care, to connect with the other energy in this space, to disconnect a little bit from the noise, the external noises that distract, cause stress, cause anxieties, and to connect to the source, your divine, what's inside of you, separate from all of those external forces. Those are all just created, man-made, but inside of us all is the light, and really what makes it all on an equal playing field. My name might be Nancy. This might be my appearance, external, but on the inside, it's the same as you. Our yoga practice helps us to connect to what's inside and to know that we're all the same. We're made up of the same types of cells and energy. There's a word in Sanskrit called ahimsa, means nonviolence. People like the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Buddha, they connected with the practice, the art of ahimsa, made it their life work. They were born to practice ahimsa. Somewhere inside all of us, we're able to practice this through self-care, but also spreading it into the world, knowing that it's all said and done, nonviolence is an answer. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Rub the hands together, create some energy, some friction, feel the energy really start to be created in between the hands by this rubbing motion. You can feel a little heat being generated. You can feel the power that you have to create energy. So ahimsa can come in the way of verbal actions. So knowing that you have this power to create this amazing energy in between your hands with this simple act, just a few more moments of this, really feel the heat being generated, the friction. And then I want you to just separate your hands just to, as if there's a piece of paper in between, just a little bit, and just feel the energy in between the palms. And then with the slowest of motion, pull the hands away a little bit and bring them back together without touching the palms. Just this slow motion pulsating in between with the hands, slowly bringing them apart and together, noticing any sensations, maybe feeling like you can't press the palms together even if you try, because of that energy field that you created. Maybe start to make a little bit of a curve with the hands, like you're forming a ball. Like you can feel that ball in between the hands. And again, just this slow motion, drawing the hands toward each other and pulling away. All your awareness directed to this energy field in between the hands. Realizing your fullest potential when you are able to tune in with your own self-awareness. Let one hand come over your heart, the other hand over that hand. Set your intention for your practice as it relates to your highest self, your fullest potential. Letting go of any negative self-talk, any expectations, and drawing yourself here into this present moment. Take a deep breath in through the nose and hold it at the top. Hold, 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 hold. Slow exhale through the mouth. Another deep inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. Swallow that exhale a little bit at a time. Exhale the rest out. One more time. Hold it at the top. Swallow it down. Exhale the rest out. And then the next exhale will om together. So take that inhale. Lifting the corners of your mouth slightly up, bringing a smile to your face. Flickering the eyes open. Let's come to child's pose. So you can use a block if you need to modify. You can bring it in between the thighs and the backs of the thighs and the calves, like this. You can bring a block underneath your forehead, like this, to support you if you
are finding that the hips are tight and you can't quite get down all the way, or you can opt for wide-legged child's pose where the knees come as wide as your mat, bring the toes to touch. Let your seat drop to your heels, maybe drop to forearms to start. Take a couple breaths here and then see if the body is ready to melt toward the earth. Again, props can be used. If you're doing wide-legged child's pose, you can use a block under the belly and the forehead. And this playlist is all about ahimsa. Shanti is the Sanskrit word for peace. So here in child's pose, it's an opportunity to really feel your breath. Feel like you're being breathed instead of you breathing. As you inhale, feel the ribs flare out to the sides. Feel the fullness of your breath really fill up your belly. Feel the breath travel to the low back, middle back, feeling any release of tension in that area. Maybe inviting in a positive, selfless intention to help guide you through your asana practice, something like, through this practice, may I be able to let go of any toxic physical and emotional poisons that I'm holding in my body. Or may this practice help me enhance the lives of others. Scanning the body, seeing where your awareness is traveling to, what parts of the body, or maybe it's the mind, where you can draw loving and caring attention toward. It's a way to practice ahimsa on our mats, to be gentle with ourselves, to invite in loving kindness into our physical movements. Take one more deep breath in and exhale it out. Next inhale, make your way up to tabletop, bringing the knees underneath the hips. The palms flat on the mat. Stack your shoulders, elbows, and wrists, or if you're having any challenges with your wrists, you can use blocks underneath your hands as a way to alleviate some of that pressure. And we'll move through cow and cat. So draw the belly in, find that engagement in your core. Next inhale, tilt your tailbone up to the sky, lift the crown of the head, feel that opening across the heart space. And then on your exhale, rock the pelvis the other way, tucking the tailbone under, chin draws toward chest, draw the belly in, round the spine, cat pose. Start your inhale, follow it with the movement into cow. Begin your exhale, follow it with the movement into cat. Another inhale into cow pose. And exhale into cat. Come to neutral, drop down to your forearms. Have your elbows underneath your shoulders. You can either have palms flat, or maybe try making fists and have the side of your hands on the mat. And then moving into cow and cat here. So inhale into cow, rocking the pelvis so the tailbone tilts up. And then exhale, tucking the tailbone under, rounding the spine, chin chin toward chest. 2 more rounds. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. Warming up the spine here. A little bit for the neck. Also warming up the core by keeping the belly engaged. Last exhale into cat. And then come to neutral and walk your knees back a little bit. And then rock forward. So you're lowering the hips and notice how we feel engagement here. So setting up for forearm plank. This is forearm plank, but just on our knees. Have your shoulders just past your wrists. And now maybe try tucking your toes under and lifting the knees. Breathe in, 3 breaths. Exhale out. If it's too much, drop your knees down, but see if you can really draw from your own inner strength here. Beautiful, everyone. And then exhale, drop down to your knees and rock the thighs and hips down to the mat and bring your forearms in front of you now. So your elbow creases are in front of your shoulders. Press the palms into the floor and draw the chest forward and up. And now push your pubic bone, rock it toward the mat to help lengthen through the low back. And we're in Sphinx pose. Breathe in into this back bend, really a back extension. 2 more full breaths for 3 total. Feeling length, drawing up the legs, up the spine, so the heart space opens, shoulders drawing away from the ears, maybe even pressing the forearms into the floor and mat and drawing them back a little bit to help draw your chest open and up. 1 more inhale, and then exhale, stack your hands, let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands, and just rock your hips from side to release. And then bend your knees and windshield wiper the legs from side to side again to release the low back a little bit. And lower the legs down, bring the hands underneath your shoulders, hugging the elbows in, and then inhale, lifting up to your knees to tabletop and pushing back to child's pose for a breath with extended arms, head in between the arms. So really feeling some opening here in the armpits, lengthening in the arms. And then inhale, rock to tabletop, tuck your toes under and lift the knees, coming to plank pose. 3 breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Really feel that core doing the work for you here. 1 more breath in and out, and then drop your left knee down. Rotate that right heel down and lift your right arm up for supported side plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. Option here, if you want to take this further, press into your right foot, straighten your left leg, stack your feet on top of each other. Just an option. Lift. If you're doing that, really try and lift those right hips up to the sky. And if you took that option, go ahead and drop that left knee back down, and we all meet back in tabletop. Rock it out with a cow and cat. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. Come back to neutral and then start to, right knee is dropped already. Rotate that left heel down. Lift the left arm up. So we start here in supported side plank. If you want to take this side A little further, go ahead and straighten that right leg, stack the feet. Breathe in. Breathe out. Really feel opening across the heart. Beautiful, everyone. And then drop that right knee back down. Rotate back to tabletop. Nice job. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees and shins and inch off the mat. And then press back. So your low belly is maybe resting on your thighs. And then slowly straighten the legs to find downward facing dog. Bring your feet a little closer together here. And then drop the right heel down and bend your left knee. Alternate, drop your left heel down, bend your right knee. And just pedal it out like you're doing sort of the running lunges. Breathe in, breathe out. Try not to lose the extension in your arms and spine. So keep pressing back. Beautiful. Something happening here. I love this song. All right. Let's lift our heels up high. Come on, coming up on the balls of your feet and your toes. Spread your toes so all 10 toes are in contact with the mat. And then balance on your left. Lift your right leg up. And just high enough for your sacrum and your hips stay level. Three-legged dog. And then lower that right leg. Lift the left leg on an inhale again, just high enough where your sacrum stays level, hips stay level. Still pushing back so you maintain that spinal extension. And then lower that left foot. Look between your hands. Walk your feet up one footprint at a time to the top of your mat. And lift up halfway, finding a flat back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Draw the belly here. Grab your blocks and place them on either side of your feet at the middle height. Lift up halfway, flip the arms out to the sides. Bend your knees. Lift the upper body to stand. Straighten the legs, arms float overhead, hands come together, draw down. Your intention, your mantra for your practice today, to your heart space. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, circle the arms around and overhead, and exhale, big swan dive. As you fold in half, hands come to blocks, bend your knees, and shoot that right leg back as far as you can to try and low lunge. Your left knee bending to 90 degrees. Really straighten through the right leg. Lift the chest, so fingertips, come up on your fingertips. So you really feel the opening across the heart. Another full breath in, and then exhale that right knee down. Uncurl the toes and flip the blocks to the highest. Draw them back a little bit so they're under your shoulders, and you're stacking shoulders with your hips. Find some balance here by pressing into the sole of the left foot, the top of the right foot. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Bring the hands down to your heart center. 2 more times. Inhale, really maintaining that balance. Hands come to your heart center. 1 more time. Inhale, sweeping overhead. Hands to heart center. And then reach the arms out in front of you. Cross right elbow on top of left. And make an X mark here. So you really feel the elbows resting in one another. And then draw your shoulder blades toward each other and down the back. And then see if you can bring the backs of your hands to touch. Lift your elbows so they're in line with your shoulder points. Breathe in. Breathe out, release. Float the arms out to the sides. Flex your hands and push through your palms. All while maintaining this beautiful balanced pose of Anjaneyasana. Really press through the palms, feel that lengthening. And arms float overhead, down to the blocks. Bring your blocks to frame that left foot. Tuck your right toes under and lift that right knee off the mat again. Coming into a twist, keep your right hand on the block. Start to lift your left arm up to the sky. Palm facing the TV. See if you can soften that left shoulder. Bend into that left knee a little deeper. Nice, yeah. Straighten through the right leg. One more breath in. And exhale, left hand down. Push off your right foot. Bring it forward to meet the left and lift up halfway. Exhale, dive forward into forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, forward fold, and then plant your hands on the blocks. Bend your knees a lot. Send that left leg back. Low lunge on this other side. Find a 90-degree angle in your right knee. So your right knee and ankle are making a straight line. Lengthen through the left leg. Come up on your fingertips so you really feel that chest lifting and opening. One more breath in. And then exhale that left knee down to the mat. Bring your blocks underneath your shoulders. Stack your shoulders with your hips. Lengthen down through the low back. Press into the right foot, bottom of it, top of the left. When you feel balanced, sweep those arms up. Palms touch, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, circle the arms around overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, overhead. Hands to heart center. Reach them out in front of you. Cross the left elbow on top of right. Make that X mark. Draw your shoulders toward each other and down the back. Then start to draw the backs of the hands to touch. Elbows in line with shoulder points. One more breath in, and then exhale, sweep them out to the sides. Flex your hands, push through the palms. Maybe draw the arms back a little bit out of your peripheral vision. Staying steady with the breath. One more inhale and exhale, then overhead, down to the blocks. Bring them forward to frame your right foot. Tuck your left toes under. Lift that knee up. So now your left hand stays on the block as we take that right arm up. Deepen into that right knee a little bit so the hips lower toward the ground. That left leg super straight. Soften the right shoulder. You feel a lot of pressure in the left shoulder. See what you can do to adjust to take the weight out of it. One more breath in. And then exhale, hand down to the right block. This time, step the right leg back. Finding a high plank on these blocks. Draw the belly in. Breathe in a little fire in the belly. One more inhale. On your exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Maybe the heels can drop down to the mat with the hands on the blocks. Really feel that extension in the arms, in the spine, then lift your gaze to look between the blocks. A little playful spring hop forward. Bend the knees a lot and hop those feet in between the blocks.
Come on, you wanna try it one more time?
Step those feet back, plank, downward dog. Okay, here's the trick. Your feet will go to where your gaze is. So the gaze is in between your blocks. Okay, take a big squat, squat down, look between your blocks. Your feet will go where your gaze is. Inhale, lift up halfway. Take the arms out to the sides. Bend the knees. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale. Tadasana mountain pose. So just watch me for a sec. Y'all think that you can't do it. You can do it with the blocks. You can do it without the blocks. All right. Sun salutation. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Feel that length as you come into forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step both feet back to plank pose, and then drop your knees down. Rotate your elbow creases to the front of the room, and then bend the elbows, hug them in, draw shoulders away from ears, and lower the whole upper body, thighs, upper body down. Then cobra. Inhale, lifting up into our back bend. And exhale, lower down, tuck your toes under. Push your seat back to your heels, then straighten the legs. Downward dog, 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Check in with your weight distribution. So plug into your thumbs, your index finger, and the tips of your 3rd, 4th, 5th fingers. Last breath, really try and lift your sits bones up to the sky. And now lift your gaze to look between your hands and try that hop forward or walk your feet up. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms around. Reverse swan dive, arms float overhead, hands to heart center. Tadasana. 1 more of those. Inhale, the arms overhead, and exhale, diving into forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step all the way back to plank pose, then drop knees down. Again, hug the elbows in. As you lower, try and have the thighs, hips, and belly reach the floor at the same time. And then adjust, draw elbows into the side body. Inhale, lengthening up into cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck toes under. Push your seat to your heels, straighten the legs, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Head between the arms in a neutral position. So not feeling any tension in the neck. Don't worry about the heels touching the mat. If they do, great. If not, focus more on getting that extension in the arms and the spine. 1 more inhale. And exhale, lift your gaze to look between your hands. Either a light hop forward or walk the feet up. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, sweeping the arms around overhead. Palms, we draw down. Ahimsa, self-love, kindness into your heart space. Full breath in and out. Sitting back in our chair pose. So make sure your feet aren't turned out, outside edges aligned. Take your seat towards your heels. The weight should be in your heels. You should be able to flutter your toes. Arms drop by the ears. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Nice job. You can also bring hands to heart center. And let's twist to the right. So that left elbow reaching toward the right knee, the outside right knee. And check in, make sure your left knee didn't dart forward. One more breath in. And come back to center, straighten the legs, bring the arms overhead, a little arch of the upper back. And then we come back into chair. Preparing to twist to the other side, hands to heart center, twisting to the left. Check in with your right knee. If it's jutting forward, draw it back. Weight is in your heels. Inhale back to center. This time dive forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. And let's fold opposite elbows here and sway the body from side to side. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's roll up to stand. So bend your knees a lot, let the head hang, and then one vertebrae at a time, rolling up to stand. Finding mountain pose, Tadasana, and then moving into tree pose. So if you prefer to stand on the wood, or if you'd like to use a wall for tree. And then we'll start with putting weight into the left foot. Start by opening your right knee out to the side and just have your toe on the floor. Bring hands to hips. And then think for a moment, we've done tree on our backs a lot. So when we're on our back, our whole back moves to the mat. So lengthen down through the low back to really feel that you have no arch there. And then maybe start sliding the right foot up to the inside of that left leg. Maintain that lengthening down of the low back. Maybe it comes up to the inside thigh. Just don't have it rest against the knee. So either inside calf, or you can reach down and bring it up to the inside of your thigh. And then when you're ready, growing the branches of your tree. So the swaying that you feel is natural. Our bodies are mostly of water. If you fall out, come back in. Have 3 more breaths here, whatever form of tree you're in. Strengthening our concentration along with our balance. Hands come to heart center. Hug that right knee into your chest. Roll that ankle around, other way. And shake that leg out, shake the other leg out. Thank your left side. All right, let's root down through the right foot. Start by turning the left knee out to the side and the toe rests on there. So already you might be shifting the hip, draw it back in, lengthen through the low back. Hands heart center. And then maybe it lifts to here. Match whatever you did on the other side. A spot to focus on, something that's not moving. visualize the inner strength, rooting down through the right foot. Hands coming back to heart center. Hug that left knee in, roll that ankle around. And the other way. Shake it up, shake it up. I know. Breath of joy. Let's breathe all that out. So come to Tadasana. Outside edges of your feet parallel with each other. So breath of joy is we take 3 inhales through our nose. So you're not exhaling in between. It's really, and we lift our arms up in front of us on the first inhale. The second inhale, we take the arms out to the side. Third inhale, arms up, and then big exhale through the mouth as we bend our knees and let the arms drop, swinging behind us, and then we inhale back up and we start over. We'll do 3 rounds. Ready? Come back to Tadasana, close your eyes. And all that beautiful prana, that energy, your life force, just feel the sensation similar to how we rubbed our hands together and you felt that energy. So maybe feel the energy, how it's working inside now with your organs. One more breath in. And let's come down onto our mats. Finding our twist here, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So take the legs out in front of you, move the flesh away from the sits bones, sit up nice and tall and flex your feet. Draw your right knee into your chest, step it over the left leg and really root down through this right foot, the sole of the right foot. Take your right hand behind you. If the palm doesn't reach down, if you find that you have to lean back, then grab a block and place it under that hand to help keep you upright. So there's a little modification. Then the left arm reaches up by the ear, twist to the right. Either hooking the elbow with the knee, or you can wrap the arm around that knee. Really feel evenly grounded on your sits bones. With each inhale, feel a lengthening up of the spine. And with the exhale, twist a little bit more. Maybe add the head to look over the right shoulder. One more breath in. And exhale it fully out. Next inhale, come through center. Take the hands to your left and drop the chest toward the floor, rocking onto that left hip, pressing into the right foot, and then lift back up. So transition, but I wanted to. Okay, so take this right leg out in front of you, and then we're going to swing it back behind us. Bend your left knee, bringing the heel in toward the pubic bone, and then rock up to your hands. Lengthen this right leg back. Shimmy your toes all the way back, coming into pigeon pose. So start with your left heel directly in line with your pubic bone. Left knee facing forward. And just play with this a minute. You're shimmying that right foot back so that you can lower down, drop the right knee down. And just notice here how the hips are balanced. The chest is open and lifted. So this might be your pigeon. You can walk the hands out in front of you and drop to forearms. You can bring a block under your forehead to release. Now, if you're not feeling anything here, then you can start to bring your left foot up, having this left shin. It might even come parallel like that. But if that means that your hips start to turn and not be squared, then you want to bring that heel back closer in. And breathe. Beautiful. So pigeon pose, we want our hips to be squared. So it's just one way to get into pigeon. It's a little bit more gentle than other ways. Beautiful, everyone. Maybe your last 3 breaths here, silently repeat your intention that you set to yourself. Next inhale, start to lift yourself up. Start here, take a breath in the full expression here on your fingertips. Chest is open, then we're going to transition to 3-legged dog. Tuck your right toes under. Start to lift your hips, slide that left leg back and up. Really reach it up high. Maybe bend that left knee and open up that hip. And then release it back down. Rock forward to plank, drop your knees down and sit onto one hip or the other, swing your legs around so we can do the other side. So move the flesh away from your sits bones. And we'll start with our twist, drawing left knee into the chest, step it over the right leg. And this time really press into that toe ball mound of your left foot. Left hand comes behind, inhale, right arm up, twist to the left. So we'll be here for 5 breaths. So maybe start small and with each exhale, moving into the twist a little deeper. Chin staying parallel with the floor. Maybe the eyes soften or close as you focus on the inhales and the exhales. One more breath in. Maybe turning the head a little deeper to look over that left shoulder. And then the next inhale is going to take us through center. Hands drop to the right, rocking down toward the floor, pressing into that left foot. And release. Release that left leg, swing it back behind you, bending the knee. Take this right heel in towards your pubic bone, and then rock up onto that right knee and right shin. Start to work that left leg back. So rock back on your toes so that your hips sink a little bit deeper. So decide if you've got a little bit more space in this hip, maybe inchworm that right foot forward a little bit and then sink down. And then dropping to forearms as an option. And sinking into this side. You can also support under your right hip with a block if it really feels uneven. use the blocks any way that helps to support you. Try and release tension out of the neck and shoulders. Engaged.
Yeah.
It's in full extension, so you're not really gripping in that leg, but feeling more just a full extension of it. Because there's definitely some activity happening with the left hip as well as the right. Start to lift up, pressing onto the palms, and come up on your fingertips. So you feel the chest open and lifted, and then next breath, press into the left toes, lift the hips, take that right leg up, three-legged dog. Maybe bend that right knee and lift it up, opening the hip. And then rock that down. Drop down to your knees. Rotate around onto your hips again. So you come with the legs out in front of you and then come down onto your back, hugging the knees into your chest, rocking from side to side. Feeling that release of the back against the mat. And then taking the feet down, heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. And have a comfortable distance between your heels and your bones. And then inhale the arms overhead and drop your knees over to the right. Drop your knees down so the left knee is coming to the inside of that right foot. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe lift your right foot, resting it on top of your left knee. Feeling a deeper opening here along that left side. Breathing in and out, letting gravity, allow gravity to help move the legs down toward the mat. One more breath in, and then exhale the arms down alongside the body. Release that right foot if you lifted it. Everyone bring your knees through center and pause. And then we'll drop our knees down to the left with the arms overhead. So option to stay here, letting gravity help bring that right knee toward the earth, or you can lift your left foot, resting it on top of that right knee to encourage it to drop even more. Full, even breaths. One more inhale. Exhale the arms alongside. Release the foot if you did have it on top. And we bring our knees to center. And then with your feet as wide as the mat, just let your thighs and your knees fall together. This is called constructive rest. So we're just going to take this pose for a few breaths here and do just a couple more cool down movements. But just take note for a moment how your back feels here, because this is an option for your Shavasana. If you can't ever get comfortable having the legs stretched out, You can always bend the knees like this, feet as wide as the mat, and allow the thighs and knees to fall together for this to be your Shavasana. Separate the knees. Heel toe your feet in a little closer so they're hip distance apart. We'll take a figure 4. Draw your right knee in toward your chest, turn it out to the side, and let your ankle rest on this left thigh. Take your right hand to the inside of the right knee and press that knee away from you. Just feel a release here in this right hip. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can lift the left foot off the mat. Slide your right hand in between the little opening between right thigh and left. Interlace your fingers behind the left thigh and draw the legs toward your chest. Keep both feet flexed. Pull back, pressing into the mat. Drop that left foot, release the right, and then draw left knee into the chest, turn it out so the ankle rests on your right thigh, and take your left hand to the inside of the left knee, press it away from you. Really feel that release in this left hip. Stay here or lift that right foot. Interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Draw the legs towards you, keeping both feet flexed. Pull back, pressing into the mat. Softening shoulders, soften the neck. One more breath in. And release that. Release that left foot. And then either constructive rest or slide the legs out long for corpse pose. Finding our way into Shavasana. And to help yourself move into relaxation, 5 breaths where we're inhaling through the nose and then exhaling through an imaginary straw, pursing the lips, and it's a slow exhale through that straw. So on your own, inhaling through the nose and a slow exhale through that imaginary straw through your mouth. When I am silent, I fall into that place where everything is music. By Rumi. Ahimsa, translated as nonviolence, stands for living a life of kindness and compassion for yourself, others, and the world around you. It is so valued. It stands at the very core and foundation of our yoga practice. It's introduced to children and practiced before learning asana or pranayama, breath work, or any of the meditative limbs. So if we come from a foundation of non-harming, then we approach our asana practice with the intention of calming and caring for the body rather than conquering it by force. Shifting our attention to simply taking the time to be with ourselves in a nurturing, non-judgmental way. Being present without any agenda. Being present with our bodies and minds as they are. Starting to deepen your breath, invite in small movements, wiggling fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles, deepening your inhale, your exhale, maybe floating the arms overhead on an inhale for a long awakening stretch, and then hugging the knees in toward your chest and rolling onto your right side. Pausing on your right side for a few breaths just to allow the energy to flow down from your heart into the body to help awaken you. And then to help protect your low back as you come up, rock the chest toward the earth, press into your left hand, and then press into the right arm and right hand to circle your way up. Coming back to crossing the legs to Sukhasana, keeping the eyes closed or at a soft gaze and bringing the hands together again, palms touching. In front of your heart, take a soft bow of the head toward your heart and take a moment to thank yourself. Always an honor and a privilege to be up here leading you all in this practice, these ancient teachings. I thank you for being here. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you, and let's seal the practice with the sound of Om. Take a full inhale, sigh it out, and then we'll Om on the next exhale. May Ahimsa guide you through the day. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome. Adrian, thanks for joining us.
Breath of joy, Nancy.
Nice seeing you again.
That is like the best.
It's so great. I love the feeling. I usually do it for more, and then you really get sort of that
Just
rush.
makes you smile. You can't help but smile.
Yes.
There are so many things that make you do that.
Oh, everything. Looking up at the
Love that.
trees, everything.
It can be, but it's.
I have this song. We've been listening to this one.
Oh, you never heard of it? I saw the guy who wrote the book. When we talk about it.
And actually,
nature.
Yeah. And how to practice.
I like that.
I just listened yesterday to one about just
I'm gonna treat my husband and you for
One thing I'll tell you, two things you should do. They could not work out one thing, but they just find us. After the 2 weeks, 13% more muscular growth without eliminating using brain power, which she just went on and on. Right? Would be big. I learned it. Right. Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Oh my God. Yeah, last week we had a worker at the house and I had to leave there. It was all down.
Oh, I was in her class Monday.
You bet.
And I won't see you till on the other. Yeah, I'll be leaving Thursday and then we'll be back in July for a week.
Okay,
Then not
I-
till the fall.
And I have no idea what my July looks like yet. I might be taking the month off because of just, yeah,
Kids, things
Yeah.
to do.
I'm like feeling like I need a little. These are ending up in New Jersey. My dad, he's getting older, he's 86.
It's well.
He's well,
Oh,
yeah,
God
it's
bless.
great.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. And he still has the house in front.
Oh, gosh.
And we spent any time there last year, so I just, yeah. And Aiden's 12, and he, if I'm not like helping to guide some activities.